An unexamined life is not worth living. To find yourself, think for yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Janet Sewell and I'm a certified Gallup Strengths Coach. It's my pleasure today to speak with you about a concept that has been a passion of mine for decades, and it's called self-knowledge. When you think about the term self-knowledge, think about, is it more than just knowledge of self? Time that we have together today, we're going to explore what that might mean, how you could tap into it using your Gallup-certified strengths if you know them, and even if you don't. So let's spend some time together and let's get to know you. It's in this time of distress that we really must dig into our strengths to help pull us through. For some of you, it might be that you're high in analytical, so you really analyze the situation that we're going through. For others, you might be really high in relator, and so relating closely with those people that you care about, making sure that you're checking in on your loved ones who might need you, that becomes important. And just being able to fuel that helps you during this time. But what if we live in that space where we either don't know our strengths or don't live in our strengths? How do we get closer to self-knowledge, to understand what does that mean? How do I get there? How do I show up the best version of me? During this time, I've done a lot of self-reflection. It's a process that I go through every day. My top 5 strengths are learner, intellection, relator, input, and connectedness. So already I'm kind of like set for this work on self-knowledge because I ruminate in the things that I put in with my input. I've made sure that I have the input that is good right now. And I stay away from some of those things that might be damaging to my psyche. The numbers, the deaths, it's not to say that I dismiss their importance, but if I want to really cultivate this understanding and this awareness of myself, I need to make sure that I'm in this playing field of positivity and nurturing environment. During this time of COVID-19, I've made it a point to take time for me. So in the morning, I get up, I go for a 2-mile walk. I might listen to a podcast. I might listen to someone help me in a running program. But whatever it is, I make sure that I'm using that time for me. If I can just reflect in that space of quiet for a 2-mile walk, 30 to 40 minutes, I'm able to reset and reflect on how I'm showing up with this new knowledge. One of the things that becomes important when you're thinking about the acquisition of self-knowledge towards this capital knowing of yourself, if you will, is the undoing of a script that may not have been one that you really buy into. Let's talk about that a little bit. The first step to self-knowledge is really in the undoing of those scripts that were written or prescripted by someone else. Maybe that's in your childhood, maybe that's in your early relationships, but it's the undoing of that and then rebuilding who you are based on what you value, what you know to be true in your heart. Those things are the foundation of self-knowledge. And it's a daily practice. When you think about what's important to you, beginning of the day or at the end of the day, in a meditative practice or in a prayer practice of gratitude for what went well. Setting that out there is the basis for what you hold to be true. So a little technique that you can do is to identify your top 5 strengths, if you know them. If you don't, just write down 5 words that you feel describe you. And then pick one of those strengths or words and write 3 to 5 synonyms of those. And now that you have those, reflect on how that might show up in your life. Let me give you an example. My number 1 strength is learner. And if I just took it at face value, learner is defined as someone who studies a subject. Seems kind of boring. But if I take learner and identify synonyms for learner, I find the words apprentice and beginner, novice, student. And it's in that realization of learner being multifaceted that I realize that's who I am. I'm always seeking to learn from other people. I'm a novice in the situation of new relationships. I'm a beginner when I'm starting something new. I'm a student of mankind and of the earth. And I approach every day with that new lens of I'm a learner. I'm a novice, a beginner, a seeker of understanding. So for me, just taking apart my strength or a word that describes me and finding related words helps me to really understand myself a little bit deeper. Now you try it. There's a link below that has the worksheet. Write your 5 strengths or 5 words that describe you, related synonyms, and then I'm going to challenge you to write a mission statement. And it might sound like this. Tomorrow I will learn, fill in the blank. For me, as a learner, that's a mission statement that's actionable of something that I will do because now I have a deeper understanding of my own self. The knowledge of myself is understood through this daily practice and actionable mission statements. I hope you found our time together useful, beneficial. If you have any more questions about self-knowledge, I would love to have a conversation with you. Again, I'm Janet Sewell. I'm a certified Gallup Strengths Coach, and I'd love to hang out with you, get to know you as you get to know you.